Okay. This one looks all right. Yeah, but this one, what is that garbage? What is that garbage? It looks like someone sneezed cream on that and flattened it out and sat on it in a hot car. I'm gonna have to write them again. Let's take a picture. Hi, Jody here, coming at you from Central Illinois. The kids have been back in school, and I don't know about you, but I'm kind of running out of ideas of what to pack them. We've got peanut butter and jelly and some pre-packaged lunches, and sometimes I just say, you know, kids, you got to eat the hot lunch today, and they don't always love that. You know, there's just a lot to contend with lunch, and we're all busy, you know, and lunch is one of the top 3 meals of the day. You know, Steve has 5 meals, and you know, some have 6, 3, you know, some people do intermittent fasting. You know, it's not really my thing, or Steve's. It probably could help his heart. What I'm trying to say is I've got to bring some good food to these kids. So I was shopping at the store, and here I am going through all the aisles, and I reach over and I see a Lunchable. I think, oh yeah, that's an easy meal for my kids, but is it really gonna fill them up? Just this processed meat and cheese and crackers? It's fun, sure, it's fun. But I think I can do better for my kids. And oh my gosh, was I inspired. I was so inspired by this that I'm running through the store getting ingredients to try to make my own Lunchable casserole. Okay, so I have already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, classic casserole temperature. I've got my glass pan so we can see all of our layers. I'm gonna start by grabbing 2 sleeves of deli crackers. I'm gonna try a new method of just crushing these in the bag they came in. And we're gonna go ahead and try this. Oh, there it is. Well, kinda. Well, you know, I think I'm gonna go back to my old method, and I'm gonna grab a plastic bag, and we'll do that. You know, once you have a method, I say, you know, if it works, don't change it. Some people really like to try new things. Me, I only like to try new casseroles. Got a really nice fine crumble with some big chunks for our first layer. I don't know if I'll need all of this. We'll just kind of gauge how much, do a little, pat it down. So maybe use about half the bag because we are gonna set some of this aside for another layer. Oh my gosh, I haven't layered in a little while. Okay, first layer done. Check. Next layer, we are going to be using the Oscar Mayer lean ham with water added. This is the smoked variety because I think that adds a little flavor once it's cooked. It smells like lunchtime. And this is also a perfect size for your 9x13 pan. See how it fits in there just so? With this size of ham, maybe do like 3 layers. You might say to yourself, Jody, 2 layers is enough. No, 2 layers is never enough. The more layers, the more love, you know. That's what a casserole is all about. And remember, this is for our children. I don't know about you, but I don't want my child passing out in PE because they've only got 2 layers of ham in their casserole. That'd be embarrassing. I know some parents that only do maybe a slice or 2 of bologna on those sandwiches. It's just not fair to those kids. You know, I only have a little bit left in here. I'm gonna go ahead and use it up. Just kind of put these throughout, sprinkle them about, there we go. A little residual ham water on my fingers I'm gonna rinse off. Cheese is the next layer. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Kraft singles, but if you're really in a time crunch or you only have shredded cheese in your fridge, this is fine. Is it authentic? No. And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and use the singles, partially because I don't wanna call from the Lunchable people. You know, the CEO at Lunchable is calling me and saying, Jody, you made this amazing casserole honoring our Lunchable and you didn't even use the right product. And then I'm getting sued, you know, and while I'm, you know, somewhat famous in my town, I'm not made of money. You know, I probably couldn't fight that lawsuit. And I wouldn't want to, you know. I really like to take my time peeling these carefully as to not mess up the cheese. We are really trying to create a beautiful layer here. You want to be delicate with those edges because, look, I've already picked up a piece there. Jody, settle down. You know, it's almost being like a painter, you know. You really have to be, oh, and look at that. I was very careful. I'm going to let that one slide because I didn't really have any control over that. I mean, whoever wrapped that piece of cheese messed up. I mean, I'm sure that they individually wrapped these because they, I mean, how else would you put that together? But maybe they need to do a quality check at Kraft for their workers. I'll probably email them and put in a request, but I'll do that later. Got a PTA meeting I got to address first. I have a lot of different pending emails and outreach at different companies, just checking on quality assurance. And I have a to-do list every week to just check in and see the status of each one. You know, I'm looking out for everyone here because who's going to advocate for you if you don't, you know, and for our children. One of my recent requests actually was to the Lunchable organization about 2 years ago is when I first put in the request, and I've still been following up. But they used to have a real Oreo cookie in the Lunchable, and then it switched to a chocolate cream-filled cookie. Do you see this? With chocolate cream cookies. So that was the first issue, was that they made that change without alerting the public, and I felt very offended by that because I don't know about you, but I am a very name brand Oreo, you know, I really like the Oreos better than the chocolate cream filled. That's just, there's more flavor. My next request was that the chocolate cream cookies were coming where the cream was off-centered to the cookie. And I was so concerned that if I'm getting this level of quality in my Lunchable, what is happening to the rest of the American public? You know, I hope they're not shipping these overseas because what is the world going to think of this American Lunchable? What kind of product they're putting out? You know, you've got to stand behind your product. And, you know, an off-centered cream, I'm not making an off-centered casserole. I mean, look at this. I'm going to fix this cheese right now. So anyways, the last few emails I sent have just bounced back. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe my email just got lost in the mix there. Maybe they're having technical issues. I don't know. So I'm probably going to have to call in now. But that's the status of that. 2 years. 2 years I've been fighting this battle. But you know, I do get up at 4:30 so I can start my email outreach before I have to start packing school lunches. It takes me a good hour to make sure I've hit all those check marks. So there I've added the cheese layer. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And if you want to look, oh, some of that water ham is kind of watering down the sides. That's great. Some moisture in there is going to help it bake really well. Okay, last I'm going to top this with the rest of the crackers that I had on the side. I'm going to just sprinkle these on top. See how easy this casserole is? I mean, if you have the time to pull a Lunchable out of the fridge for your kids for lunch, you have the time to make this casserole. I mean, it's just that easy. Maybe you wake up at 6 in the morning. Just wake up at 5 instead. I mean, 4:30 is really where it's at. So here you have it, all your layers. We've got that layer of crackers and the layer of ham, cheese, and the last layer of crackers on top for a nice crumble. So nice little Lunchable casserole. Casserolable. Hashtag casserolable. Ooh, I like that. That's got a nice ring. Let's put this in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to bake that for about 15 to 20 minutes just to warm it up. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, the moment of truth. Let's grab our casserolable. Oh, wow. I mean, it looks like that could be straight out of the cafeteria. Wow. So I've let this sit for 10 minutes. Let's dive in. Oh, Jody, Jody, Jody. Okay, look at that. Wow. Wow. Presentation, I'm going to give this one, I'm just going to give it a straight 10. I'm not going to overdo it because I know I've been coming back from the 1s and 2s. I've got a nice straight edge here, a little bit of browning on my ham. The cheese melted, it stayed together, the crumble, it's fun, so fun. I'll give it a 10. I'd love to give it an 11, but I'm going to just be humble this time. I mean, this is 10 times better than a Lunchable. It's a casserolable. Wow. I think you could maybe even eat this for breakfast. This could cover 2 meals, breakfast, lunch, brunch. Oh, it's so good I don't even want to rate it. I don't want it to stop. Probably a 12, you know. Like I said, I could go higher, but the flavor, I mean, we've got the butter flavor and the crunch of the crackers. We've got a nice mellow melt of the cheese. That smoky water ham is just coming through. All of the elements are here. It's a very hearty American dish that's going to fill those kids up. It's going to give them all the energy they need for PE, for art, for social studies. This will get them through the day. Like I said, it would taste great for breakfast too. So if they're running late, you know, maybe they can have a little on the way to school and some in their lunch. Throw an egg on top. It's like an eggs Benny, you know. Well, not really, or like a ham, egg, and cheese sandwich. Okay, so there you have it, guys. The casserole bowl. 10 for presentation, 12 for flavor. Subscribe. Come back next time. See what I'm going to invent next. From my kitchen to yours.